Hey YouTube, Rennie here once again. Doing a review of, for the first time, two tobaccos. Not just one, but two. At the same time, as you know from the description. The video title, sorry. I'm reviewing Petersons University Flake and Rattray's Wallace Flake. And the reason why I'm doing these two is because, from what I know, this is the same tobacco. It's kind of like the same recipe. I guess from what I know, and I've only read this once, when Coalhouse and Kopp gave up the Peterson line to McBaron, they didn't want to give up the recipes. So what they did was they tweaked them. The recipes in the Peterson line, they tweaked all of them, and they just, started selling them under a different name. And there's a few, but for today we're talking about Peterson. Peterson University Flake went to McBaron, but the recipe that Coalhouse and Kopp had, what they did was they tweaked it a little bit, and then they just re-released it under the Rattray's name, and it became Wallace Flake. So, getting into it, what I did was I loaded up two different bowls at the same time, and that's what I've been smoking right now. The University Flake, I'm smoking it in my Peterson Donegal. Now, this is by no means that I meant to do this. It's just a coincidence. I just thought about it. I don't know why I didn't do that. I should have. But that was a total coincidence, by the way. I didn't mean to do that. Had I thought about it, I probably would have loaded up my Rattray's Butcher Boy for the Wallace Flake. But instead, I loaded up my restored early Yellow Bowl. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have loaded up my Butcher Boy. But anyway, so let's get into it. Let's start off with the Peterson University Flake. Now, well, actually, let's start off with the Rattrays. That's the one that I smoked first. Now, right off the bat, the very first smoke that I took of this Wallace Flake, very, very reminiscent of a Peterson Flake. It even has that almost perfumey Lakeland taste, but not really. It's very, very faint. It's not. I hesitate to say that. I probably shouldn't have said that. But it's just very, very reminiscent. I mean, if you would have told me to guess at what I was smoking, I probably would have said Peterson. The flavor is it's got that grassy note to it that, in my opinion, all Peterson tobaccos have. It's a very light tobacco. The flavor is, you have to appreciate this kind of tobacco in order to find the flavor that you're going to get out of this. Of course, if you sip on it, you get a lot more flavor. But actually, this Wallace Flake, smoking this aggressively, drawing on it aggressively, actually doesn't burn it out. It really doesn't. But you just get more of a grassy note rather than a kind of like a very faint sweetness, if you will. But nonetheless, very enjoyable. But yeah, definitely very Peterson-ish, if you will. Now, the Peterson University Flake. If I can get my match lit. This, if I was, if you would have asked me to guess at what, tobacco I was smoking, I never would have guessed Peterson. Very surprised by this flake. Normally, it's kind of funny because, I would have thought that the Wallace flake would have tasted completely different, considering they tweaked the recipe. And McBaron didn't. McBaron just, took over the Peterson line. So I was expecting, of course, the Peterson to be grassy and, everything that I just said about Rattrays. But as a matter of fact, it's complete opposite, 180 here. The Rattrays is completely Peterson to me. But this Peterson University Flake, I'm very surprised by this. The taste on this is very fragrant, kind of sweet, very smooth, a very enjoyable flake, which is odd for Peterson, in my opinion, because, you guys know I'm not that much of a Peterson fan. I'm trying to be, but I'm not. The only one that I really, really like, as far as their flakes go, is Irish Flake, which I truly enjoy. This, I knew was going to be milder than that, so I feared that it would be just bland. But it's not. It's very fragrant. It's got loads of flavor. And yeah, it's very unlike a Peterson. I'm very impressed by University Flake, actually. I wasn't expecting the fragrance, the fragrant taste of it. I was not expecting it. It's not what I normally get from a Peterson tobacco. And even when you draw on it aggressively, you don't lose much. Sorry. Very nice. I'm very much enjoying the University Flake. I didn't think I would. And yeah, like I said, it's odd. The Wallace Flake is what tastes like Peterson, and the Peterson really doesn't. So that's my review, guys. You know what? Yeah. Hope this, helps you guys in any way. I don't know. And I'm talking about, of course, for those of you who did not know this already. I was one of those. I did not know this about Peterson and Rattrays. But yeah. So I guess, if I was to choose between the two, mind you, they're both excellent flakes, I think. But I'm going to go with the Peterson University Flake. Definitely more flavor, more fragrant than the Rattray's Wallace Flake, although this is a very good flake. A very Peterson, grassy taste to it, but very smooth, very consistent. I really did enjoy these, actually, and glad that I got these too. I'm definitely going to go and see about purchasing the other flakes that I still haven't tried from Rattrays and Peterson. All right, compadres, comadres, I'm sorry that this video has taken too long, but in all fairness, if you split it right down the middle, it's equal amounts of time for each, I think, that I normally do. Anyways, all right, compadres, comadres, as always, thank you for watching if you still are. Y van con Dios.